Hello, this is Mike from Boulder, and the topic for my brief video today is to talk about how I came up with a solution for the fact that my StarCraft pop-up camper didn't have a front stabilizer jack. Almost all the larger trailers these days come with stabilizer jacks, just both in the front and back. And it's really helpful to have stabilized jacks on all four corners, just to, make the trailer much more stable, rigid, not kind of moving back and forth once you start getting into it. Well, mine didn't have one. And I did go to a trailer service place and asked them, could they install a crank down one in the front? And they looked underneath of it and they said, well, it's going to be a little tough because there's a tube that comes down right up front here, which actually carries the cable for the lift system. And that's right about the location you'd like to mount the framework for the crank down stabilizer jack. But they said they could work out something, but it was pretty expensive. So I was trying to think of some other approach that I could use. And just one day, I was in my local hardware store, McGuckin's, and I came across an item called a ratcheting cargo bar. And I'll have a link here to show you a photo of it and other examples that I found on eBay and also Amazon. But what struck me is, in a sense, it's got a base thing here with ratchet control knobs. See, I can hold it down there so you can see. And then a very long bar, and both ends you had some nice flat, rubber kind of like feet. And although, the bar itself as it came was quite long, it seemed to me that if I could cut the bar down the length of it such that I could readily fit it under the trailer, it should work. And what seemed kind of fairly useful with this is that you had a couple different positions for the lever. If with this lever, I'll get a little closer here. When the lever's all the way up, your rod here could come up and down fairly easily. When you move it down to the next position further down, now you can crank it up. And then once it's in place, if you bring it all the way down, it kind of latches it so nothing moves. But it seemed to me if I could position this up underneath the front of the trailer, it should possibly work as a good stabilizer bar. So I bought two of those. They were about $25 at that time. Now I see they're in the hardware store for like $39. But let me show you how I end up positioning this. So let's take a quick break while I reposition. This slide shows several examples of ratcheting cargo bars you could find on eBay or on Amazon. Slide this down the rod here so it'll be touching the ground. And at that point, I can kind of position it to just make sure it's totally vertical. I'll move it a little more like that. And then once in place, I just pull this back, bring this down, and then can just crank this up. And I just crank it up enough so it's nice and snug. And at that point, I can just flip this down, and that locks it in place. And I found it's done very well, whether it's on soil or something hard, hardtack, like concrete. But this is totally stabilize the front part of my trailer. And again, for about 25, 35 bucks each, that was pretty good. When I get ready to, break down the trailer again, all I need to do to release this is I can either bring the lever all the way up to release it, or I can just crank the trailer tongue up just about half an inch and it'll just come fully out. But again, it's worked out very well for me and quite inexpensive for the benefit I get from it. The additional benefit that I've gotten from using that little arrangement is I can fit that, my jack for the trailer, and other items into a single little utility case here. Again, the standard approach is to use these little tripod type stabilizer jacks, which have the screws and they work perfectly good. But for me, they just take up too much room to try and fit either in the trailer or in my tow vehicle. This I can keep in the camper. And just to show you what I can fit in is, again, I can fit in both of my stabilizer jacks. And here I have what looks like a toiletries case. And in that, I carry several tent pegs, aluminum ones with lines attached to it, which I use to anchor and anchor onto my awning when I put that out, because we frequently have strong winds. But that fits in. I can fit in 2 or 3 of the little yellow plastic blocks that I can put underneath my stabilizer, my rear ones. A couple wooden blocks, a nice little scissor jack, a hatchet to be able to pound in my tent pegs, the little crank for the scissor jack, and the little tire iron to be able to take off the lug nuts on the camper. So again, what made it nice is I can fit all of this into this one little utility case, and I can carry that directly in the camper. So I think that's about it. At the end of this video, I'll have a link to a series of other videos I've done about pop-up camping, things that I've learned over the years. And if you're totally new to pop-up camping, I'd say start looking at the one which says tips for new pop-up campers. And that'll link you into the others as well. So anyway, hope this might be of at least a little use to you. Go online, eBay or Amazon, and look for, search for ratcheting cargo bar or pickup truck cargo bar. Either one of those terms will call up several different examples of this. And it's very easy to set up. Just check the front of your trailer to see where you could possibly position this. So again, hopefully this will be helpful to you. And again, check out some of my other videos. Thank you.